PSA Reloaded, man. It's your boy 3-Letter, man. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. You see where to follow your boy at. Hit the like button also. I appreciate that. Y'all see the title of this one, boy. Let's talk about it. So, the Diddy situation. The Diddy video release of Puff Daddy, Sean Diddy Combs, is out for the world now to see what happened in a 2016 hotel lobby between Diddy and Cassie. And now people want to hear, or the culture wants to hear from certain podcasters, certain celebrities in the hip-hop realms, what do they think of the Diddy situation. Now, obviously you got 50, who's been very vocal, who's going to be very vocal about Diddy. I saw Bobby Shmurda. I saw Slim Thug spin the block back and even apologize to Cassie. Cedric the Entertainer, D.L. Hewley, a bunch of other people, maybe other names I'm forgetting and everything, but those names stick to mind that come out. Now, when you have academics, now when you have C- or D- or no, a level of bloggers that talks about it, that's not a higher level than other guys, we're going to have our opinions, right? But they want to hear from certain people. And I said it myself on the blog I did about Diddy, that, Mr. Joe Budden, the people are going to be very interested to hear what you have to say, whether right or wrong. And I want to tap into that right quick. Whether right or wrong. Now, is it Joe Budden's podcast or Joe Budden's responsibility to talk about certain things? I want to go there first. Is it? Do you need Joe Budden's opinion to validate yours? Let me say it again. Do you need Joe Budden's law or what he says to validate what you think on certain topics? Well, this topic here when it comes to Diddy and Cassie, what do you want to hear? It's almost like this, right? If people know you have a relationship with somebody and that person is going through some trials and tribulations, accusations, deem their way, right? They want to hear from you, and they want, if everyone's burning down Diddy, they want you to burn him down also because you have a platform. Prime example, I cover battle rap. When Easy the Block Captain battles or Aver battles, and they have a rough week, they have a weekend that they had a couple weeks ago where both those brothers lost the battle, people coming to me like I'm the end-all be-all for whatever reason. They want to hear my opinion on the battle. But and it's so funny, three, keep it real. If you go back to my if you go to Easy the Block Captain's last 3 battles that I reviewed, Geechee, John, and Charlie Clips, go back and see why I picked to win those battles or lose those battles. Then you come back and holler at me. If you go back to Aver's battle, go back to his last couple battles, and then look who I had winning his last couple battles, then come back and holler at me. But let's stay focused 3. Right now, Joe, here's the thing. You are not the end-all, be-all. And yes, I heard you in the Twitter spaces having a back and forth, right? But when you're deemed as the pod father, there's certain responsibilities that come with that. It just does, whether you like it or not. You when you do a show, you want people to tune in, right? And you can't really get tight at them if they're expecting your opinion or want to hear your opinion on this particular subject, or they feel that it's like they want to see your body language, how you got to sound. I don't know. The fans want you to go for blood when they're going for blood, or because they have a certain energy, they expect you to have the same energy they have. And sometimes fans, it don't always work that way, respectfully, right? I know people start saying, keep the same energy. I've always said that, keep that same energy shit that y'all be running with. No, at times you're not going to keep that same energy. Sorry, you're not going to have the same energy for everything. If we do, God bless you. I've never subscribed to keep that same energy. I just haven't. Now, let's go ahead, man. like I said, do you need a grown man to tell you that what Diddy did was utterly disgusting? No, you don't. You don't need me to tell you that. You don't need Joe Budden to tell you that. You should not. Nobody has to tell you that. But Joe Budden, real talk, you gotta walk with me right quick, Joe. You my guy. But this is where I play devil's advocate, and I gotta look at both sides. Now, when this morning when I had time to open up Spotify, because I do listen to the Budden podcast on a regular basis, right? So obviously I'm going to the timestamps. I want to know where you're talking about Diddy, and I'm looking for that. That's the first. I'm real talk. Now, do I need Joe to tell me right from wrong? I just want listen. You listen to people podcast to go and hear their opinion. Whether you disagree or agree. But if you're listening to somebody's podcast, you're a supporter of their podcast. You do want to hear them tap into certain subjects, right? Now, I go to the timestamp and I see that I'm looking for the Diddy situation, right? And I see that they have Cardi B is the first topic. I all respect the Cardi B, but I ain't trying to hear about Cardi B right now. I'm trying to hear what they got to say about Diddy. Fast forward to the minutes. The Diddy thing is that I'm like, did I miss something? Because you go to, I think it was like 108 or something like that. So I fast forward to 108, the 1 hour mark, and I'm like, this is kind of weird. How come I'm not hearing about the Diddy situation? I rewind it back. I'm like trying to listen to the whole thing, pull it back a little bit, let it ride through. I'm like, still nothing, huh? Then if you look on the bottom, it says it's like more conversation they're going to tap into. The Diddy situation, I think it was right before the Sleepers. Fast forward to that. Still no Diddy talk. I'm like, oh boy. Now, two things can be going on here. Did they talk about it, edit it out, but the timestamp DJ? See, Joe, this is what happens, because if the timestamp DJ doesn't have the timestamps of y'all talking about Diddy, you don't got to jump on Twitter Spaces. You're not trending about this topic. But because the timestamp DJ did not delete out that part about y'all talking about Diddy, here we are. Here we are. And people say Joe has a relationship with Diddy, and that he doesn't really want to tap into that. And you see the comments and stuff like that, man, right? Now, Joe was in the Twitter Spaces having a back and forth. What's his name? Caleb. Some brother named Caleb. I don't know. I guess he's a fan. And I gotta be honest, man, he really did, speak from the heart. And you can look at it both ways. Like, my man, slow down a little bit. It's not that serious. Or, once again, Joe, you gotta look at it this way. This person's a fan. He wants to hear your opinion on it. So he's tapped in, and maybe he's disappointed that he didn't get, obviously he was disappointed that he did not get to hear your opinion about that. What he said, you have one of the biggest platforms in hip-hop, said a lot of voices in hip-hop is silent on this topic. And when it comes to Diddy, Joe, this is what I'm telling you what the brother said on the Twitter Spaces to Joe Budden. You either want people to, either you have subjects when it pertains to Diddy, you have these kind of subjects on the paywall. You treat Diddy like he's the boogeyman. And, Joe, I think Joe had to respect that. He might not have liked it, but he respect what that man said. And I did too, I gotta be honest. I respect what he said. Now, Joe was like, what do y'all think about, that I have to tiptoe around things? And, he acknowledged that there's people out here in this culture that, that knows about certain things and they keep on the hush-hush. Even though, do I think Joe knows certain things in the culture that we're not privy to know? Of course he does. I'm just, I'm tired of y'all talking about these Diddy parties, these Diddy party conversations. We don't care. We don't care. Then Amani, the thing about Amani, who's on the Budden podcast, he put a tweet out there at 1:28 p.m. yesterday. He put a tweet out there about the Diddy the Diddy thing, right? Now, if you're a Joe Budden, if you listen to the Joe Budden podcast, like the most of us do, right? You already know that they're recording around that time because Saturday morning is when you get the drop, right? So around 1:28, if you see Amani's tweet, the first thing comes to your mind is that, oh, they're gonna probably tap into this conversation. They're probably having a conversation about this as we speak. And then Joe put out there that Amani was the one that told him, bro, you might want to go back and spin the block back because the audience is going to get at y'all. And Joe, this is where you have to be. Yes, it's smart as you are, my guy. You don't read the room. You're going to tell me that y'all didn't know that, yo, my man, this is happening in real time right now. And sometimes having your conversations in real time is the best. Respectfully, we kind of want to hear y'all have this like in real time. That's why when I do a review of an album and stuff like that, I like to talk about it as soon as I listen to it. I want to, all those emotions that I have, I want to go jump right in the camera, right then and there, right? It's almost like, yo, if y'all was doing a show where O.J. Simpson was right on the Bronco, in due time, you're going to talk about that stuff like that. So, yeah, the people that listen to y'all podcast might feel the way because they want to hear y'all opinions about it right then and there in game time mode when it's actually happening. And y'all are there while it's happening. So what did y'all say that was insensitive? I know Joe used the word insensitive subject. I mean, y'all are a very smart crew. Y'all smart individuals. I don't think I need to wait till Wednesday to give. I mean, y'all can do what y'all want to do, regardless, right? But I think most of us would like to hear y'all opinion on the subject right then and there. And mind you, I'm not saying that I need to hear what you say is end all be all. I want to make, I'm my own person. I have my own opinion. I did my blogging. I didn't have to wait for Joe Budden to tell me how to feel. I dropped it right then and there when it happened. But I guess most people feel like y'all had it right then and there to talk about it as y'all were doing y'all podcast. There's not much homework to do when you see actual footage of Cassie being assaulted. And I think that's what I see the people who feel the way about that. You can just talk about the pulse of the people who feel that way, right? Now, another thing I want to talk about why Joe Budden, and I don't see anybody, I don't know if a lot of people are talking about this, right? Now, you see the footage of Diddy with Cassie Ventura and the way he treated that woman in the hallway, throwing on the floor, kicking her twice, dragging her, and then throwing stuff at her. That's just effing nasty, man. And whether right or alleged or not alleged, people have said Joe Budden himself might have had situations with females, and they might not want to hear him talk about it, or he might, let's be honest, or if in his heart of hearts, if he's been in a situation that he might not want to talk about it, because then that gives people Pandora's box to ridicule him and be like, who are you to say anything about this? We heard there's stories about this. I'm just being honest. That's maybe Joe's feeling that way in the back of his mind. Like, I don't want to talk about this because regardless, even if that's not true about me, that there's an alleged story about me getting down on a situation with a woman, and maybe the audience don't want to hear from me. Has anybody thought about that at all? So that's just something that I thought about. Like, maybe you don't want to talk about it because the brothers had a situation before, alleged situation out here in these streets. So, So, I don't know. People want to hear from Rory and Maul, I'm pretty sure. $1 million worth of game, Drink Champs. These are the people y'all want to hear from about, this 8 hip-hop celebrities, and get their opinion about all this Puff Daddy situation, man. And it's almost like, do people want to hear your opinion, or they want to hear your opinion with conviction, with nasty thoughts and F-bombs and fire bun, play a box side? Is that what y'all want to hear these people say? I don't know. So, I don't know, man. Leave comments in the bottom, man. Tell me what y'all think, man. It's your boy 3. 1.